Okay, hi everyone, welcome to Strategic Management. I'm doing this video because I know that a lot of persons will not be able to access the course this week and maybe even over the weekend. If you get access at that time, then you can always watch the video and see what we have in store for Strategic Management. So, my name is Marie Bradford. I'm your lecturer. Owen McKnight is also teaching Strategic Management, so some of you will be in his class as well. My email address is marie.bradford@utech.edu.jm. I always answer my emails, so it's the best thing for you to do, in a short period of time is to send me an email if you can't wait for class to ask me a question, etc. I will also create a WhatsApp group. I'll give that link to you when we have class. The WhatsApp group is going to be for all the groups that I teach and not individuals. So it'll be one group. And for the 5 or so classes that I have over the course of the week, then all persons will be in the same WhatsApp group. And as I said, I'll give you that link when we have our first class. So let us look at the course outline a little bit. So strategic management is it's like a capstone course or a bringing together of a lot of the other courses that you would have done previously. And what it really does is to introduce you primarily to how organizations are run on a wide scale. And we're not necessarily looking individually at the HR function or the marketing function or the different functions, but just strategically how companies position themselves in the marketplace relative to the environment that they're operating in. And that is what strategic management really is. In terms of the module objectives, at the end of the course, you should be able to understand the strategic management process and the nature of competitive advantage. You should also be able to apply strategy concepts to strategy formulation, implementation, and decision making at different strategic levels and to strategic management practice. Of course, as we go along, you will know what those things are. You should also be able to analyze the strategic competitiveness of industries and organizations using various tools, techniques, models, and frameworks and generate alternatives for strategic action. And you kind of do most of that when you do your case analysis and that kind of thing. So those are just some of the objectives for the course. For the schedule by week, I know that this semester should have started today, which is the 6th, but as a lot of you will not be able to come into the course and I know I'm not going to have any class, I just put the semester starting next week on the 11th. So for the first week, we look at strategy and strategic management. So the lecture will be there, but we will not be doing a tutorial. We will just do an introductory lesson where we do a lot of housekeeping things and that kind of thing and introduce ourselves, etc. But you're expected to watch that first lecture. And then the following week, now we go into tutorials. And then you watch the lecture for the second week, but we're going to do the tutorial for the first week. And my favorite style of teaching really is to use case studies. The case studies are in all of my tutorials. I expect that you will complete your tutorial sheet before you come to class. And that continues as we go along. Now, in about week 4, usually, I start to form groups and I ask students to choose their group members because I personally don't like to put persons in groups unless of course somebody is left behind and I have to place that person in a group. I prefer if you form your own groups, especially if you have classmates that you were in previous courses with, so you know them and that kind of thing. So in week 4 we form our groups and then we start to do like our tutorial sheets and that kind of thing, more of a group work kind of thing. In week 6 now we have our first test. Our first test, 50 multiple choice questions. It covers units 1 and 4. Of course, it will be done via Moodle, and I tend not to change my dates. So if I set the test for week 6, we're having the test in week 6, unless some natural disaster happen or something, I tend not to change my dates, because if I change one date, it pushes back the other dates, and as lecturers, we also have deadlines to meet. Test covers units 1 to 4. We'll go along and then we have week 10. Then we have our second test. This second test now is a case study and an essay. So this is where we have to write. And a lot of students tend not to do the long writing or that kind of thing. But this test is just one case study, one essay. And we use the full 2-hour class time to do that test. The other assessments in the course is a case analysis, which is group work, And then we have a term paper, which even though it says individual, we do it in pairs. So 2 persons work together to do a term paper, and that is the final assessment. So we don't have an exam for this course, but you have your case analysis, that is a group work, your test 1, your test 2, and then there is the 10% participation grade. Now, strategic management requires you to do some amount of reading. I have a 9th edition of the textbook that is on a link to it. It's in my Google Drive, and I give a link to it on the Moodle page so that you can do your reading and you don't have to be fighting to go to the library to borrow a book, or you don't have to buy the expensive books. So I implore you to just read the chapters as we go along. So each week you just read the corresponding chapter so that you can keep abreast and so that you can understand the details of the course in a little bit, in a better way. Because when you do the reading, you understand better. Because sometimes the lectures are short. The lectures just look at the main points and you need to do additional reading. So for overall coursework now, the test 1, the test 2, the participation, the case analysis, and the individual, it really is a pair term paper because 2 persons do the term paper together, and that is what constitutes the assessments for strategic management. Now, all lectures will be recorded and uploaded to the Moodle course page for students to watch before attending tutorials. Now, the lectures that I did last semester are there, so you can even go ahead and start watching some of the other lectures that we don't reach that unit yet. But I'd prefer, though, if you watch the lecture for this week, go through the tutorial sheet, answer the questions so that when you come to class, you can participate. So the lectures are housed on my YouTube page, and a link to it is on the Moodle page. So if you know my YouTube page is Teacher Girl 876, so you can always just go there and watch the lectures whenever you like without going to Moodle. And just overall now, navigating the course page, you would have become very familiar with Moodle by now because you would have done all your courses on Moodle last semester. I have at the top of the page a course announcement. Now, I'm not going to do the email thing, collecting the emails, sending students emails. This is where I'm going to put all the course information, every correspondence that I have with you. We're going to correspond through this course announcements. It goes to your email. I think when I do a course announcement, it goes to your email, but it is your responsibility to go and check the course announcements for updates, etc. And if you miss something, it is always there, so you don't have to say, oh, you didn't get this email and you can't find the email. All correspondence is in the course announcements. So even if you don't remember something, you can always come back to Moodle page, go in the course announcements, and then you will see all the announcements that I issued over the semester if you want to check back on anything. On the course page, we have the course outline, the link to the textbook I was telling you about before. Then I have the group case analysis guidelines and a document about how to analyze and write a case analysis. And there as well, in terms of the course is organized, or the page is organized by week. So each week you will know what we are doing in terms of the lecture, tutorial, etc. You know, we do the lecture this week, do the tutorial next week, but all the information is there. Additional videos are also there for you to watch. I like if you watch some of those videos, you know, they just provide some additional information. Because, you know, the lecture is really just to pinpoint the main points, explore some concepts, etc. or really get into the nitty-gritty when we have tutorial. I also put the PowerPoints that I use to do the lecture. I always also put them there as well. So if you want to read through the PowerPoint, I'm not going to say instead of the lecture, watch the lecture, but you want to read the PowerPoint as well, you can do so. So I have all the information on the course page, and therefore we don't have to send out any email, etc. And it is always there. You access Moodle, and you can always do your coursework, your tutorial sheets, etc., etc. So yes, that is basically it. I would implore you again to make sure you do your reading, because strategic management, or most management courses in general, you have to do a lot of reads. I like when students participate, so I expect that persons will actively participate in my classes. Oh, and one thing I forgot to say is that the link to the tutorials via Blackboard Collaborate will also be on the page. I have not set them up as yet. I'm going to set up one for myself and one for Mr. McKnight, and they will be there. So it will be one link. So every time you have a class, You come and you click that link and you go in the class. So you don't have to be searching for a different link every week or anything. It is the same Blackboard Collaborate link that you will use to come to your class. I think I've covered pretty much everything I want to say. When we have class, I'll give you the WhatsApp group link and you join, and we look forward to a good semester. Strategic management is a pretty simple course. It's just that you have to do quite a bit of reading and some amount of work, but it's not a difficult course. So most persons pass the course. The people that don't pass the course are usually people that miss an assessment. They missed this test, or they didn't hand in their case analysis or something. But most persons pass strategic management because it is not a difficult course. Anyways, I look forward to classes next week and have a good semester.